Well, hey guys, welcome to another video. I have some new watercolors that I wanted to share with you today. These are from Paul Rubens, and I believe they are pronounced Qiaomei, and you can see that they are tubed watercolors, and there is 24 different tubes in here, 24 different colors. And each of the tubes, I believe, are 12 milliliters in each one. So that's a pretty big size. It's a lot of color in one tube. So I'm just going to go through here really quick and squirt these out on some palette paper. And I didn't have a dedicated palette for these. And then we'll just move right along to the swatching process. I've got this sped up a little bit for you because not everybody likes to uh, watch the paint swatches, but I wanted to go through the swatching process with you and talk about these paints. These were sent to me for review by Paul Rubens. However, they don't ask me to say anything positive or anything in particular about the paints. So they allow me to give my opinion, my personal opinion, pros and cons. And so I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. I don't do any reviews that I'm not allowed to give my own personal opinion for. That's just not something that I care to do. So, like I said, you have got 24 different colors in this set, and they are marketed as, I believe, like an academic line, not as a professional line. So when I got them, I don't know what I thought. At first, I didn't expect a whole lot because they were, quote, academic paints or student grade. And when I got them and started swatching them, I was like, oh, well, I was kind of impressed. The pigment payoff that is in these paints is incredible. I could not believe how vivid these things are. And if you watch as I go through the swatching process, watch that paper towel that I'm wiping these paints off on. It is just insane as to how much pigment is on there. So I thought at first, well, maybe it's just because, I was working directly from the tubes. But by the time I squirted them all out and got back to the top, they had already mostly dried. So I don't know if that was because I had the heater going, if it was just my climate or whatever. But they dried pretty quick. So I don't feel like that was the reason. But anyway, this is 24 colors, like I said. It's a good selection of colors. And I'll show you the card up close, the swatch card, here in just a few minutes. But I think I want to compare these to the Winsor and Newton Cotman line. And so I actually have those, and the ones that I have are also tubes. And they're in the Cotman, there is 20 tubes, and they are small ones. They're only 5 milliliters of paint in each tube. And I think that they are very comparable between the two lines. And so I was really impressed at how much paint you get for about the same price. So on Amazon, these are going for less than $40. And The Cotman colors are about the same price, and there is only 20 colors. And like I said, they're just tiny little 5 milliliter tubes. So I think these are a really good, they're a good value, and I also think that they are, they would make a great starter set if you're just getting started in watercolor, because it's got a good selection of yellows and blues and reds. And so, while I don't think with the selection that you've got here, you would have to mix anything, making it beginner friendly, but I do think that since you have so many of the primaries, that you could just go to town, mix anything you wanted to. Anyway, look at that paper towel. So much pigment. And I went through and I wetted all these squares before I put the color down. So it's pretty intense. I was pretty impressed. So those, I would say, are my pros. Very high pigmentation, pretty good color selection, a lot of paint for the cost. And it's not chalky, which is something I really like. A lot of times some of the student grades or the academic grades will be chalky. These are not. And they're also not like glossy or super shiny. So they're in the middle. It's a really good finish. So I definitely like that. And then also, I would say for the cons, um, there's a couple of colors that I would say don't really correlate so well with maybe the standardized color. Like, let's say raw umber, for instance. So you'll see here in a minute, we'll swatch the raw umber. And so you'll see whenever we go to swatch it, I don't know, I think it's maybe a little more yellow than uh, most of the raw umbers that I've painted with. But there's still a good variety of browns, so I don't think that that's a deal breaker. And then, I don't know, I might not have used so many different yellows. I think if I was picking the colors, I would have probably liked to have had one less yellow and maybe one more purple or like an aqua teal color. But like I said, those wouldn't be hard to mix. Oh, and then there's the orange. So up at the top right, you'll see that's cadmium red pale. And that is, I guess, their orange. It's like a red orange, light red orange. But I think you could just add a little bit of yellow to it if you needed something more along your orange color. Anyway, I really do like the whole line. And like I said, it's just a really good value. And this pigment's crazy. Look at that water. It's nuts. I have, you can't see it, but there is a jar of clean water to the side, because there's no way I could have come in and wet these without having some of that paint left over in there. Oh, and you can see where my fingers are. That's that raw umber. See, it looks a little yellowy. And this is a Van Dyke brown, which is different. I don't see those in too many of these very basic watercolor sets. So I think that would probably be my choice. If I was going to use a quote raw umber, I would probably use the Van Dyke in its place. But anyway, you can see these are just spectacular pigments. I'm really impressed. And so we're going to do a painting here in just a minute, and I'll show you these in action. Fair warning, you guys know that I am not a realistic painter. I'm abstract all the way. Look here. Aren't they gorgeous? I really love them. These are so good. I definitely would buy these with my own money, for sure. You can see some granulation in that indigo. Man, they look good. But anyway, so I'll do this little painting for you. Probably put some music on and just let you watch through this. I am not an expert in realism or in watercolor, so this is not, quote, proper watercolor technique. I'm just having fun with these paints and using, and I just chose like a landscape format because I thought we might use a lot of the different colors in the same painting without it being too crazy. And you'll even see I make a big old boo-boo in here. I picked up a blob of brown paint from somewhere and stuck it right in the middle of my sky. And it lifted really easy. And you couldn't even tell that I had made that mistake. So I was pretty impressed with the lifting too. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to let you watch this and let me know if you have any questions. I'll put some music on and I hope you enjoy. The link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. And I appreciate all the likes and subscribes. I will see you guys on the next video.